Hello grade 9s, this is Mr. Miller and welcome to lesson 3.3 on the order of operations. So most of you, when you think of order of operations, think of bed mass, which is good as long as you remember that all the operations in brackets must be done first, all the exponents done from left to right, division and multiplication go from left to right, and addition and subtraction go from left to right. So that means that division can come before multiplication, or multiplication can come before division, and same thing for addition and subtraction. Addition could come first, or subtraction can come first, whichever is most to the left. So we'll keep those rules in mind as we do these examples. First one, evaluate each expression and show your work. So here we have 5 times 3 cubed. I know the times isn't written in there, but it's understood to be multiplication. So 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. Multiply that by 5, and you'll get 135. Now, if you can't do that in your head, that's okay. You can use your calculator to check your results. Okay, so you can do 5 times 3 cubed. It's important to note that it's only the 3 that's being cubed, not the 5. Okay? So we'll keep the calculator off to the side in case we need it later. Let's take a look at the next one. We've got 6 times negative 5 squared, which is negative 5 times negative 5, so that's positive 25. Multiply that by 6, we get 150. Okay? Important to make sure when you do this on your calculator that you're placing brackets in the proper place to get the correct result. Notice that the bracket placement is a little bit different on this one in part C. So, in fact, we're not doing the entire negative 2 to the power of 4. It's only 2 that's being raised to the power of 4. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 16. And we're doing negative 16 times 4, which is negative 64. So in your calculator, it will also look a little bit different in how you're placing your brackets. Negative 2 raised to the power of 4. Notice the exponent is on the inside of the brackets this time, and you get a negative result. Now we've got negative 7 times 4 cubed. 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64. Multiply that by negative 7, and you get negative 448. Number 2, we're going to write each expression using a coefficient and a power, and then find the value of each expression, showing our work along the way. So this is 4 times 3 cubed. We did 3 cubed before, we know that's 27. If you multiply that by 4, you get 108. Next we have 5 times negative 2 to the power of, let's count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so negative 2 to the power of 5 is equal to negative 32. Multiply that by 5, you get negative 160. And now again, if you're not good with doing that in your head, that's okay. You can still do it on your calculator. 5 times negative 2 to the power of 5, you should get the same result. Next one, we're doing negative 1 times 10 to the power of, let's count how many 10s there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 10 to the power of 8. This is negative 1 times 1 with 8 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so our final result is negative 100 million. And last one, in number 2 here, we've got 6 times negative 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so this is 6 times negative 100,000, which will give you negative 600,000. Okay? Now, the next example says evaluate using your calculator, and you could certainly do it all in one step. So for instance, in 3a, you could do negative 6 times 4 to the power of 6, and you get your final result of negative 24,576. I still would like to see the work here, so let's see if we can do that. So we're going to do negative 6 times 4 to the power of 6 is equal to, that is 4,096, and now we know that when we multiply that by negative 6 we're going to get that negative 24,576. Next one we have 7 times 8 cubed, so we're going to do the 8 cubed first, do the exponent. And it's going to be 7 times 512. And when I multiply that by 7, I get 3,584. Next we have negative 4 times, and here we're doing negative 9 in brackets cubed, and that gives me negative 729. When you multiply that by negative 4, it's going to give you 2,916. Next we've got negative 7 to the power of 4. So realize that this is only 7 to the power of 4, not negative 7, the whole thing raised to the power of 4. So the answer will be negative here, and it's 2,401. Next one, we're going to evaluate and show our work. So now we've got some work to do inside the brackets first. We're going to do what's inside the brackets. 6 plus 3 is 9. Then I'll square it to get 81, then subtract 21 to give me 60 as a final result. This one, I'm doing the exponents, and then I'm doing the subtraction. Part C, again, need to do the exponents first. So that's 16, and this is going to be negative 27. And now I'm going to go from left to right and do the addition first, so that's 28. And subtracting a negative is like adding a positive, so that will give me 55. In part D here, we're going to be doing the exponents. So 5 cubed is 125. We're subtracting 4 times negative 2 to the power of 6 is equal to 64. And between the subtraction and multiplication, you need to do multiplication first. I'm going to treat this as a negative 4 times negative 64. So negative 4 times negative 64 gives me 256, and I've got 125 plus 256. So now I just have to do that addition. And my final answer is 381. Next, number 5, we're going to find the value of each expression, showing our work along the way. So again, we've got some work to do inside the brackets now. If you could do me a favor and just scratch out that extra brackets there, it should not be there. That was a mistake, a little typo. Doing 9 subtract negative 2, well that's like adding positive 2, so that gives me 11 squared, plus I've got negative 3 that I'm going to be cubing. 11 squared is 121. Negative 3 cubed is negative 27. And now when I add these two together, I've got 121, and I'm adding negative 27, and that gives me 94. Okay. Next one, we've got 12 subtract 3 times the 4 squared is 16. So we're doing the exponents first. We're doing the multiplication next. 3 times 16 is 48. And we're subtracting that from 12. Of course, you could add the opposite, if you like. And now this is like a fight between good guys and bad guys. Obviously, the bad guys are going to win this time by 36. Next one, part C, we've got some operations to do inside brackets, so we'll do that first. And inside the brackets, we need to do the exponents before the subtraction. So 4 cubed is equal to 64. 6 squared is equal to 36. I'm going to subtract. And 64 minus 36 gives me 28. I'm also going to do this exponent here of 5 squared, which is 25. I'm going to do 36 minus 25 is 11, and then add the 28, and that gives me 39 is my final answer. Next one, I've got negative 9, which is going to make it positive. And then I have positive 81, because a negative times a negative is a positive. So I've got 9, positive 9, plus 81, which gives me 90 in total. Last example here, we're going to be looking at each pair of expressions, evaluating to figure out which one is greater. So here it's interesting because we have a 3, 2, and a 4, and we have a 4, 3, and a 2. The placement of those numbers does matter, obviously. So this is 3 times 16, which gives us 48. And on this side, we've got 4 times 9, which is equal to 36. Not as much. So the greater number is on the left. Part B, 10 cubed is 1,000. Add another 1,000 to that, you get 2,000. Here, we're doing 10 plus 10 because it's inside the brackets first. Cube that, and you get 8,000, which is significantly more. So the greater number is on the right. And the last one here, we're doing 5 times 3, which is 15, then squaring it, which gives us 225. Here you're squaring 5 and squaring 3, and then multiplying them, and you get the same result. So these are actually equal. So that's the end of the lesson. Here's your assignment, and thank you for watching.